If you wonder why this episode review was a bit late, you can thank the fact that I watched the AFC Championship game between the Jaguars and the Patriots. And the Jaguars jinx it. Let's get to the review. This is Mega Man NG, and we are back with another TMNT 2012 Season 2 episode review. Today we talk about Episode 6, Target April O'Neil. So here's the deal, and this will not be a long review either. I'll be providing a summary of this episode as well as some of the things that I liked. And let me tell you, there was a lot of things that I enjoyed. So let's get started. Karai gets scolded by Shredder for her failure, but it doesn't stop her from enacting a new plan, capturing April O'Neil. She does so with the work of an advanced foot mech called Chrome Dome that the Kraang have developed. April, meanwhile, still harbors animosity towards the Turtles for what happened to her father. But with Karai and the Kraang seeking her out, there's only one option. Can April put her animosity aside and team up with the Turtles to stop Karai, Chrome Dome, and the Footbots? Yeah, that's pretty much what the episode is about. This is more than just an episode involving the Turtles, but also involving April O'Neil. You guys remember back in episode 1 of season 2, where she pretty much blamed the Turtles for what happened to her dad. Which, to be fair, the Turtles kind of did screw up. They should have actually been a bit more aware. But now, 6 episodes in, and it seems that, well, things are not as they seem. Sure, she's doing better, but it still don't excuse the fact that no matter what happens, evil will always surely come crawling in. In this case, it's pretty much Karai, the Foot, and the Kraang. Speaking of which, this is also marking the first appearance of Chrome Dome, an advanced footbot that looks like a giant armored version of Chris Bradford. And this is before he became Dog Pound and then, in Pokemon Evolution style, evolved into Razar. And Chrome Dome, he's not like the 87 version, which was like a giant version of the Shredder, except this one, he has a lot of devastating attacks. He has a whip, an energy blade, and can even fly. It makes him a bit more devastating, but what surprised me is his objective. The objective for him, for Chrome Dome, is that he was to target April O'Neil as ordered by the Kraang. This ended up coming into conflict with Karai's objective, because when Karai tried to stop it, it went after her. And it had a big, huge battle that followed. Sadly, Chrome Dome is now nothing more than a hunk of junk. Thanks to the Turtles' teamwork efforts and the reactions when they were trying to, like Chrome Dome was spinning around in response. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. Also, Casey Jones makes an appearance once again. And I know that one of my commenters mentioned it, but yeah, the episode 4, Mutagen Man Unleashed, was not a proper way on how to introduce a character like Casey Jones. And when I get to episode 8/9, The Good, the Bad, and the Casey Jones, that's when we can properly have its introduction. But let's be honest, Casey Jones actually puts up a heck of a fight. And we actually see in one scene when he's talking to April that he was a hockey player. I'm reminded of that fan film regarding Casey Jones. If you haven't seen the fan film, look it up. It's pretty good. And that fan film showed that Casey Jones was in fact a hockey player. But here in this, he's not only good at hockey, but also he provides a little bit of a backstory on himself that he once had a friend, and due to an incident, they never spoke to each other again. And it sort of parallels into what's happening here with April. But yeah, Casey Jones puts up a fight against the Footbots. And yeah, even though the Footbots were deadly, they couldn't handle Casey Jones' skills. Though it makes me curious how things will continue down the line. April and Karai have yet another battle, and I'd say it's more of a cat fight, but I truthfully disagree because Don actually gets involved. Don's involved because, well, he's smitten with April. He's so determined to try to set things right, he's unaware of the consequences. Hence why one consequence is when, well, he ditches his brothers just to save April from Karai and Chrome Dome. And then the others get involved, but yeah, the Turtles had to contend with Chrome Dome, and then Chrome Dome comes by later. Ugh, it was messy. It was really messy. But I will say that, regarding Chrome Dome, the fact that it was after April is a clue. And you can tell in the earlier scene, regarding April O'Neil, the Kraang were gasping. It's as if they know something that Karai don't. And that, to me, is what surprises me. I look forward to how the rest of the season goes. But there is good news in the end. April finally buries the hatchet with the Turtles, letting bygones be bygones. Hopefully this can lead to the Turtles working together so that way they can save April's dad and stop whoever it is that gets in their way. But one of my favorite scenes, and this is for anyone that ships April and Don in this show, It's one of the best ways to end the episode. It ends in the best way. April hugging Don, and then he kisses his cheek. And he goes nuts. It's like he's in heaven. And personally, nothing wrong with it, but it was a heartwarming moment. Especially for Don, because all his hard work in trying to make amends paid off. Considering they're going to need all the help they can get for the rest of the season is saying much. Trust me, it is. I really enjoyed the episode a lot. There was a lot of action. The action was high, but I feel also the episode put a bit more emphasis on character development, as well as giving some characters a chance to shine, like Casey Jones, for instance. And yeah, I'm waiting for when I do review The Good, the Bad, and the Casey Jones, because that's going to be one I'll enjoy big time. My rating for the review will be in the description below, and I hope you guys take the time to comment on this, because yeah, I put a lot of my time into this, and I hope that you all enjoy it. So that's pretty much going to be it for this episode review. I'm right now watching the game between the Eagles and the Vikings, and I don't want to miss out on it. That's it for this review. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to me, and I will see you guys next week. We're getting 2 more episode reviews, and one of them is probably going to be one that's out of order. Expect a lot of this to happen, especially at the end of the season when it turned out that some of those episodes were leaked a week in advance, or rather released a week in advance online. Why? I have no idea. I truthfully don't. This is Mega Man NJ signing off. Peace out. Boo Yakasha.